You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and checking us out this week. Oh, Kevin. Why?
You guys went here of your own free will.
Bob was willing to stay in the lobby.
And miss out on all the excitement? No.
What excitement are you talking about?
Well, you guys are at Muckrakers. That is where the team of you found that your local friends and allies, the Trash Wyverns, a Yosoki gang that Hecubino and Vanky know, have been held due to some deck collection issues. So last time
on Critical Hit.
Critical Hit.
You guys met the owner and proprietor, Spago, a Quarlu, who gave you a tour of the place and introduced you to his head of security, Scophos, a noir, kind of Minotaur-like fellow with a distinctly "don't mess with me" vibe, and told you about the great ROI that can be achieved by investing with Muckrakers. That is to say, minimum offense, maximum ROI. So I believe, not to put words in your guys' mouths, but you had intended to, you'd already talked with some of the Trash Wyverns, and the idea was to get them out of here in some fashion. But there are a few obstacles in your path. First of all, Scophos, the wandering noir enforcer. Second, there are a few kind of rundown patrol bots. Again, you've seen these ones before. They're the robots with like the ceramic armor and miniguns. And then several walking eye robots that are recording everything and presumably broadcasting it to Spago and possibly Scophos as well. And then, of course, in order to leave, Spago has a certain command console thing that requires both a sample of his DNA and his voice to use. Plus, he can use it to, at any time, cause excruciating pain, possibly lethal pain, to anyone with the restraints on, so including your Yosoki friends. So you guys were in these tunnels, these several meter wide, pretty vast tunnels where the Muckrakers, all these indentured, imprisoned people, are using the eponymous tool to scan around looking for nodules of some gigantic creature, to like little egg sacs, basically. And you were trying to come up with a plan on the down low, because you are still being kind of watched and monitored, and Scophos is wandering about and the like. Quick reminder on who everyone is. The trash wyverns, there are 5 of them, and to kind of run down by archetype, Nibbles is the leader. Thrill is the dangerous one. Pitch is the sneaky loner one. Keck is the funny, boisterous one, and Rachuk is the one who's good at computers. Those are the trash wyverns, and you know who your at least local adversaries are and what their capabilities are, kinda. So you guys are in, let's say, a momentary huddle. Scophos is wandering around, so maybe now isn't the exact right moment, and you guys can see some of the robots as well. But you have a little bit of time to, at the very least, talk amongst yourselves, reasonably secure from being listened into. On.
Okay, Amu, what do you know about the technology that what's his name? Just had it in front of me.
Spago?
About the technology that Spago uses. Do you think you can spoof his genetic signature or cause it to mess up in some way?
Is that one of those life science things that I can take an automatic 20 on?
I think you get an automatic 20 on recognizing critters.
Critters.
Okay.
Yeah. So no. You could make a life science check to kind of assess what you know about it.
Yes, well, I'm going to do. That's going to be a 28.
That does not seem low to me. That seems pretty good. Cool.
All right,
So with a 28, I mean, so is it possible? Yes, you certainly could. But it would be a lot easier if you just had a sample. Then you could 100% lock it out, as if, because you gotta keep in mind, it's meant to be that he does something with it. You're pretty sure you could adapt it if you just had any little shred of actual Quarlu DNA, like his DNA, Spago's DNA. With nothing, it's going to be quite challenging.
Well, theoretically, it's possible we could work something up. Though without any Corlu DNA, it's going to be very difficult for us to complete.
If we have the DNA, would it be easier?
Oh, certainly. And if we can get his specifics, I'm almost 100% positive that we can manage this.
I feel like we can do that. Okay. So the way I see it, we have 2 options. We can either try and do that now and just kick our way out, or we can come back later, do a little bit more planning, and then try to get in here when there's less heat, if Scophos is ever not around.
Are there any computer/network terminals in this area?
So the robots themselves are computers. It's unclear what they're connected to exactly, except that they're probably being ordered about by either Spago or Scophos or both. And then there are terminals by the elevator, and then there's certainly a whole computer bank when you reach the surface.
I'm just wondering if there's a way to hack the system to turn off the monitors and maybe.
If there's a way to hack the system, it would probably be a lot easier to do it either from the front office or from some of the early from the tunnel access that got us in here to begin with. I think the main reason why I think maybe we should come back later is because on our way out we can actually map the way back in, because it's pretty circuitous to get in here.
Can I tell if there's any type of wireless signal or interaction from the robots to some sort of system?
Yes, you can. You can actually, I'll say, using your infosphere integration, it's just like a quick adaptation of that to be looking for other signals. And you can tell that there are probably some command frequencies that are encrypted and probably fairly hard to spoof. And then there's video frequencies, which again, they're encrypted, but there's a lot more data going over them. And you guess that is the primary thing that the walking eye robots do. By the way, one of the walking eyes kind of strides past you guys. They are robots with a central spear about a half a meter in diameter, roughly the size of a pyramid sports ball. And they have 4 long, spindly, multi-jointed legs. The legs actually emerge from the top of the sphere, not the bottom. And they carefully choose the spot to set down, although it looks like they can also climb walls and hang upside down.
Did you call it a pyramid sports ball?
I did.
Yeah.
You can feel free to look that up, but that's fine. Giving it so these things have a distinctly arachnid kind of daddy long legs vibe. The central sphere is matte black with a giant red eye in the center, and there's plenty of them. I will share with you guys on Roll20 what they look like.
Boy.
I'm familiar with pyramids.
I knew it!
So did I. I was like, yeah, that's some Johnny Quest action right there.
Oh, wow.
Simsalabim,
That is
baby.
incredible. That is just from Johnny Quest, right?
Yes, it is.
Sick. Love it.
Actually, I believe that is a reused frame from the Venture Brothers emulating Johnny Quest, but nonetheless.
That's
what I thought
It's
at
funny
first.
because it's possibly true.
So
I'll ask.
So does
Pitch.
the spider linger, or
No, it just seems to they don't linger in any one place for very long. They kind of wander about. So Quentin, to finish the answer of your question, you can tell that their primary purpose is transmitting audio and video.
Can I see their signal?
You can detect it, yeah.
Can I reroute their signals? If I were, say, trying to keep people from seeing what a particular eye is seeing by substituting a different eye's feed, which shows, absolutely nothing and no evil people hanging out and planning a jailbreak.
So, couple things. One, you certainly could, but I'm going to ask for a computer's check here to assess. How
You
hard
on
that
right
might be.
now?
assess
Yeah.
security protocols?
Assessing security protocols. 26.
Nice, excellent. So much like Amu, you understand how this works, and you can actually detect a few vulnerabilities in their system. These are old models, and they have not been kept up to date. They have not received their recent patches. So there's some things you could do. Hacking the signal is certainly an option. It would be much, much easier if you had one of the devices itself, because they do have, some like physical. They're sending some keys across that are they're probably like embedded in the hardware that are difficult for you to fake out. But if you had access to one of them, you could make it show whatever you wanted. The other thing I will note is making it show nothing would be a huge tell. You certainly wouldn't want it to show nothing, because that would appear like the video feed being cut out.
But say if one of my onboard orbital cameras, which can float about, were in a position where one of those robot eyes should be broadcasting a signal that I then superimposed over the signal from the robot eye that we just killed and tore apart. In theory, of course, obviously.
In theory.
Then, yeah. Spongo and 3PO would not be able to tell that we were doing that because, all I have to do is add some artifacting from, the old cameras. This one's got a bad blue shift.
Do these look like they are easy to take down, or is this something like when you're talking about if you had access to one? Are you talking about trying to buy one on the used market and hacking it? And
No, so a pyramid ball is roughly the size of a basketball. So they're not legendary for their martial prowess. They're more about monitoring, and they are wandering about. So it's not impossible that you guys could gain access to one.
I mean, I could literally float over and crash into one and then grab its head with my claws and superimpose, being a larger sphere, my own controls over that sphere. If, again, I weren't, cuffed and being watched by a minotaur.
So, speaking of which, while you guys are debating your various options, I just want to provide a little bit more descriptive background as to the situation you're all in. So, you're in these tunnels that something has clearly dug through. They're all circular or cylindrical, I suppose. And the muck that the muckrakers are digging through is an olive brownish green sludge. Yeah.
Yummy.
Varying in thickness around the tunnels. It sometimes drips slowly from the ceiling onto you. It's really highly viscous, so it's very slow, and some portion of it, whenever it touches stuff, clings to your clothing and boots, like a cross between gum, mud, and like a sticky slime. And after watching for a bit, you now know that muckraking evidently involves a lot of hard physical labor, using one part of the rake to scrape through layers of the slime and then kind of flipping it and using the scanner portion of the rake to see if there's a nodule sac hidden underneath. And while you guys are, again, still in your little council, you are in luck as an inmate. A haggard, hilky woman discovers a nodule in the course of their work. So a walking eye picks its way across the cavern to assess their find, and shortly afterwards, Scophos appears as well. Scophos holds up this nodule, which looks like a particularly slimy and oblong lime green egg. Assessing it before tapping a comms device on his wrist, and which pops up a little hollow image showing the prisoner's extreme debt. Scophos waves his hand, and the number ticks down somewhat, which you might think would make her happy, but it seems to have no effect on her mood whatsoever as she goes back to muckraking. And then Scophos walks in your guys' direction, and as he's doing so, out of the narrowest top portion of the nodule, and the nodule is maybe a meter long. Actually, smaller than that, maybe half a meter long. So out of the top portion of the nodule emerge about a dozen, maybe 15, little purple tendrils that look a lot like, to you, Amu, an anemone. And Scophos holds it with one arm, pulls his lit cigarette from his teeth, and jabs it into a patch of the tendrils. The nodule makes a high-pitched shrieking noise, and all the tendrils retract back into the sack. And Scophos walks by you guys and says, "I ain't your mammy egg. Rest of you, get back to work." And he seems to be going to deposit the nodule somewhere.
Wow, that was something.
I am not fond of him.
Yeah, he's not great.
You could find more of those? Because if he shows up every time someone gets a find, then we can use that as a trap.
I mean, he seems to be pretty high up in the organization, which makes me think that he doesn't just stay here. Actually, hey guys, does that guy live here?
You turn to the trash reverends.
Yep.
Oh yeah, no. This is all he does. He seems to get his kicks out of treating people horribly.
Yeah, we might have to actually.
He sleeps standing up, and with his eyes open.
Fun.
Can you navigate this place? Because I'm not really sure how we got here.
We've got a bit of a system, says Rachuk. We've managed to well, do you want to show them? And Thrill will take over. Yeah, so I've sketched out the local paths, and she saddles up next to Skritic and starts basically showing him by sketching into the muck, which will temporarily hold the the signs, like the little map she's drawing. But eventually, all the slime will just fill back in and it'll disappear like sand, but much grosser. So, if we follow, there's this intersection, and down here, this is roughly what it looks like. It changes sometimes, and she draws a complex labyrinthine web of tunnels. But you do have a map, better than nothing.
I'm gonna activate detect thoughts.
I'm going to attempt to photograph the map.
Sure, you succeed at photographing the map. So, Hecubino, whose thoughts are you trying to detect?
So detect thoughts is like a slow over time, like you detect more and more stuff. I'm basically keeping an ear out for Scofo's thoughts. Because I have a theory that he might have some sort of mnemonic or something to find his way around. So I want to see if there's any indication of that. Also, if I like detect thoughts has a range. So if I hear his thoughts coming into range, it also means that he's getting close.
Sure. So
Smart.
the way it works is there's like a number. You basically can detect the presence or absence, then the number of thinking minds, and then you can choose one of those minds and try to read it. So you can basically keep track of the number, and then by when the number changes, you can try probing different ones to be like, okay, I think I know who that is, or I think I know who just came or left or whatever, and that might work. You'll have to be concentrating on this for a while. You can still talk, but it's one of your background processes is going towards that.
Sure. Okay. So here is what all I think we need. Number one, we need to know that there's a way out of here and how to find it. So hopefully this map is enough for that, but we might try to work on some redundancies. Number two, we need to get a hold of that. We need to get a hold of Spago's device and either deactivate it or get it to work for us. And the second one would probably be better, because if we use it to just deactivate all of are these collars or are they manacles or?
They're manacles.
Okay. Yeah. If we use it to deactivate the manacles, then even if he has a spare, we might be able to basically lock him out. Whereas if we just steal it from him, if he has a spare, then there goes that. If we can do it without being detected by the robots, so much the better. And then we also need to worry about Scofos and just dealing with him, as well as the armed response of the other robots, who I assume even if we intrude in the network, they'll be able to see us and will probably respond to verbal commands unless we do just a top of the line A++ job of hacking into the system. What does everybody think?
No, that seems reasonable to me. Can we maybe get some of the DNA from like the goo that he left behind on the elevator?
He left goo behind in the elevator?
He seemed gooey. Like he left goo behind on me. Like,
do you still have it?
You guys remember in the elevator, it was very warm, and Spago does perspire a thin film of something.
Can I analyze Vangi's armor to see if there's any essence of Spago on it?
It seems to have evaporated.
Yeah, it's probably too long. Is Spago still down here?
Spago seems to sometimes make the trip. Since you guys have been basically just by the trash wyverns most of the time, you haven't seen him because they're relatively deep down a tunnel. But you can hear Scophos talking with him on occasion, so it's clear that they do communicate, but he may or may not be. He seems to alternate, basically.
In that case, that does make things easier. I thought we were going to have to take him out for drinks, but maybe we won't even have to do that, especially if he, just puts the device somewhere in his office or, whatever. Just if he doesn't take it home with him, we might be able to just use that.
Yeah, can we figure out a way to maybe temporarily jam the device just so he doesn't kill everyone all at once if any of this goes south?
Well, for that we need some of his DNA and the device, I think.
Are the
Right, well, I know
manacles
that's
that
how
we're
we turned it
wearing
off
the
for
same
good.
manacles that the trash weapons are wearing?
You guys are not wearing manacles. You're wearing little
Which
slap
cross?
wraps.
Okay.
Little slap wraps, which
Slap
theoretically have no effect. Although it wasn't really clear to you what they do. So we'll see. They're not
All right,
the
I'm gonna-
same as these restraints that everybody else is wearing, but
I'm going to take off my slap wrap.
so you pull at it and it starts to sting and burn as you start to pull. To continue?
What is it attached to? It's attached to my outer shell.
Yep.
Dislodge an entire, just like a millimeter thick portion of my shell where the wrap is attached.
So I mean,
just rip it off.
As cool as that would be, that's like telling someone to rip off a foot of skin. It's like, what? You'll grow more skin.
I'm gonna do it.
It's like, good luck doing that.
I have more skin. Fine.
You might want to wait on that just in case that sets off some kind of alarm if you pull it off.
Can I do a physical science check on those?
Absolutely.
You're a physical scientist.
Would be physical science or
Actually,
computers, which would
I
be.
would be fine with. I actually even think life science would apply
because it's attached to life.
Yeah, it's basically some sort of transmitter that's doing something. So
Okay. 21 on life science.
yeah, good enough. You think that these things will also register not at the same level as the restraints, and they're probably easier to remove. But these things will also tap into your nervous system and overload you with pain.
We would suggest against removing those. They can tap into the central nervous system, overwhelm us.
Another reason to leave and come back.
I think maybe you're right.
And there wouldn't be any way of trying to think. We can't deactivate the manacles even momentarily. We could do like a switch around with one of these other Yosoki, but I'm not seeing a way to do that.
No, I don't think so. If we could do that, it would then probably become better to just pop them and take off.
Yeah.
They say who hesitates is lost, but you can't put the cart before the cybernetic hollow spider camera. I agree. We should leave and return.
I will nonchalantly signal to I'm gonna guess Pitch would be probably the best one. Signal for him to take my little communicator watch.
Yeah, Pitch is hiding in one of these little alcoves, technically holding the muck rake, but mostly keeping watch for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hekubino?
Here, take this. Hide it somewhere. When we're in range, we'll try and communicate with you.
Okay.
I might also conveniently hide the knife I cheeked in here somewhere.
Well, you're next to 5 other Yosoki who could gladly take over cheeking it.
Hand it off to one of them.
Any particular one? And then
The
Thrill's
funny
right
If
next
there's
to
anyone
you.
that's particularly looking interested in a knife.
I mean, Thrill is next to you, and she definitely seems interested in a knife. She's like, is that a knife in your mouth?
Don't say it. Do not say it. Don't you dare, Kevin.
Here. I'm sure you'll know the time when to use it.
She nods appreciatively and, gives that Yosoki, yeah, agreed, and then puts it in her cheek pouch.
Yosoki are actually immune to one another's saliva. It's a biological fact.
Ugh. We'll be back.
If you had a pouch in your cheek that could carry things, you'd use it.
It's fact.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if.
Oh, heck you Beano. It's been a little bit. So you feel a strange sensation. You feel a sharp ping in your mind. It feels like an extremely loud notification sound going off and reverberating through your whole nervous system. After just a moment, it stops. But then you have an after effect similar to when you've been like momentarily shocked by electricity, where you can still feel it kind of like coursing through your brain and body. Ping.
I focus on that. Where'd it come from?
Give me a mysticism check.
Oh, I can just click on this. 14.
Well, you're not sure where it came from. Certainly on the planet of Akaton somewhere. But you can identify a psychic attack when you've been subjected to one.
Is somebody psychic?
Someone psychic did something to you specifically. Doesn't look like anyone around, but
Yeah, I'll just normally look around to check for like people putting like their fingers to their temples or nosebleeds or glowing eyes or that sort of thing.
Any floating brains around?
Yeah, floating 4 feet above the ground.
No. For a moment, you notice amongst some of your friends, like someone like messes with their ear temporarily, like as if there's like a weird high pitched sound coming, but nothing close to what you experienced. So maybe they're picking up on some sort of residual.
This isn't like some sort of response to my cone of brain reading.
No, this was certainly external from that.
Okay. Oh, that's great. I'll try to check and see if there's any like residual psychic energy in my head. Like basically was there supposed to be a message along with that?
After you assess it for a little bit, nope. No message.
Okay. Well,
what's wrong?
Somebody when they in the old days how they would like wrap a message around an arrow and like shoot it for like someone else to read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody did that, except they aimed the arrow at my head.
Huh. Could be Spago? Do you think he's psychic?
Could be, but I don't see why he would attack me now. And same thing with Scofos. I don't think that that there's really no reason for him to do that. So I actually also don't know if this even originated here. So it could just be that Talos' parents are like getting impatient.
Great. Well, do we still want to come back, or do we want to try to make a move now?
I still think we better come back. We are not in a good position, especially if these bracelets have the ability to shock us.
Yeah, but how are we going to get back in?
Well,
Ratchuk will volunteer something. Oh, I should inform you. The muck. It's really a terrible name for it. It's some sort of excretion slime from the sandworms. In any case, the muck has some sort of electromagnetic dampening effect. That's why we have to dig through it for the scanners to work. But it's not sufficient enough to stop the signal from a nearby powerful broadcast such as such as Spago's device. But just in case that's helpful. Yeah, Thrill leans over to Skritic. I'm like, we found out the hard way that doesn't stop the pain from coming through.
It's too bad. Good thinking, though.
Yeah, good thinking indeed. Amu, can you soak up some of this stuff?
Sure.
Too bad Squeebo ain't here.
Yeah, all right.
We say like we hadn't already been doing that.
If Squeebo was here, we'd never be able to get him out.
Fair.
So
Or he
dirty.
would just grow so big that he would consume us all.
Wait, did
We are
you
all
just
Squeebo.
outline our new plan?
I think it's dangerous to throw Squeebo into new situations.
Yeah, I don't think trying to get him off the ship is a good call.
So
Some
Amu,
of us might disagree.
That's
the
fair.
lot of you, Amu, realize that it is possible that you might be able to dampen people's pain receptors
Oh,
through some sufficient medicine checks.
manacles don't actually cause any harm.
We could just dampen the pain.
Ooh, medicine.
Yeah, the main issue here is everybody getting knocked down by Spago's device. So if you can find a way around that, it might just be easier to bust out now.
Yeah.
The other
Always game
issue
to
is
strike while we can, because I don't know how we're going to bluff our way back in here.
Would I be able to roll a check to theorize what we would need to do without actually going through with it right now?
Absolutely. Still a medicine check.
Which check?
Medicine.
Okay.
Medicine.
Yay, that's my best one.
Medicine check.
Yep, that's a very
Another
good check.
21.
Good work. So, the good news is that you're a biohacker. Like, this is what you do. You inject people with various concoctions in order to exhibit the kinds of effects you want. In this case, it's just about kind of preempting that and turning off certain parts of people's nervous systems. Now, will that have some unfortunate side effects? Maybe. Will people take foolhardy risks because they don't experience basic, signals from their body? Okay, possibly, for sure. But in theory, yeah, it should work. You would just need your biomed kit, which you have, and you need like a little bit of time to administer things to each person. So it'd be hard to do it to literally every prisoner, but a select, handful or maybe group you could do, and it won't last forever. So when you do it, you'll have inoculated people for, somewhere between 10 minutes and an hour. So you'd have to make your move fairly soon thereafter. Also, you'd probably want some cover when doing this because you're basically just shooting people up with a bunch of weird parts of your own DNA that you've sequenced using your lab. So like if Scophos saw you doing that, that would perhaps raise some questions. But yes, in theory, yes.
In theory, we'd be able to pull this off reasonably easily. That is the majority of what our profession entails, is adjusting your individual biologies. However, our procedures will be fairly obvious, and side effects are, of course, possible, as we can only adjust for so many variety of sapiens.
Great. Well, we could maybe if we could find somewhere there's nodules and get the Scophos's attention on that, we might be able to, start injecting people who aren't nearby.
Oh, and Amu, one more thing I'll say from your earlier super great life science check. You're fairly confident that using your bio lab, your own personal kit, you would do a much better job than a given muck rake. Considering these things have got to cost, however, like not very many credits and are meant to be used by literally anyone.
Anybody.
Yeah. you have a much finer sense and could probably find the nodules much faster than a given person.
All right. Also,
Okay.
the little nodules that they're all digging up, we can find those relatively easily.
All right, so new plan. Amu finds a nodule. Hopefully that distracts Scophos long enough for him to synthesize and administer the stuff. I'll go with him. I'll go with Scophos to make sure that he stays distracted, and then you make one for me.
Punches her hand into her other hands, like, I can help with the distraction too.
Sure. Just join me after you've been inoculated or whatever. And, as far as side effects, live fast.
Die young.
Yeah, we'll see. Any other concerns? We might actually require some quick hacks there, Bob and Quentin. So,
yep.
Sure.
Once things get going, if you guys can locate a nearby spider drone, that might be the fastest way to do it.
Are there any nearby spider drones?
I mean, again, they wander around. So at a given time, not necessarily, but you don't have to wait long before one crosses your path.
And I don't know, Skritic or Pitch, would one of you guys come with us so that we don't get lost on the way back?
Sure.
I would, but I'm kind of bound to. Pitch points out his restraints. They're more location bound than you guys.
Yeah,
they seem to have a certain area that they can work within.
Yeah, I think hopefully between Skritic and me, we can figure out a way to do it. But most of us should stay here so that Amu can work.
All right, Amu, Quentin, Bob, stay here. Bob and Quentin also try to do a hack so that we can knock out the visuals. And then the other three of us will go take out our Scophos problem.
Well, at least distract them.
Sure.
See if we can get them concerned about those. Oh, but Amu needs to find a nodule. So this might be easier if we actually just...
Well, why don't we find the module and then we can make a plan for when we actually make the, oh, look, we found a nodule thing.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that. Amu, do you mind?
No, we're finding a nodule?
Yep.
So yeah, you look at one of the Yosoki, the trash wyverns, muckrakes, to see if the scanner has anything of value, and it doesn't. You're just like, all of this is easily replaceable using my biolab, but better. And you start digging about through the muck. You do need to take various measurements. It's you basically the muck is somewhat acidic, and it has a definitely a toxic fume to it, which I don't know if you comment on.
Better not worry the patients.
All right.
I mean, it's up to you, Rob.
Is it dangerous?
Over time, yes. For right now, not in the top list of things. No.
All right. We'll keep a fair chunk of. We're going to be collecting a fair chunk of samples of this stuff.
Cool. So, but yeah, by measuring various chemical aspects of it, you can tell. You can basically find where these nodules are being hidden. Because again, keep in mind these are part of the reproductive cycle of sandworms. So they don't want them to just be immediately picked up. Basically, imagine the worms tunneling through this area and laying their nodules all along the tunnel as they do so. Now they have to coat the whole thing in muck so that no one could get at their little precious nodules. But those are hidden below the surface, and they kind of dig in, but then when another sandworm passes by, they sprout out and they use those little tendrils to grip on, and then magically little sandworm babies come out of that process. So you think a decent way of emulating that effect, something you could do is basically rather than dig through the muck and deal with all the interference that this slime causes. If you created some sort of set of pheromones, for instance, that made nodules, the little egg sacs, think that there was another sandworm nearby.
Oh, so it would like extend its little anemone stuff?
Mm-hmm, to try to get picked up.
Yeah. So while Amu is digging around in the muck, we'll literally have multiple limbs as more branches of coral are doing various things to get the measurements. You see them thinking to themselves and coming or mixing a concoction. Am I going to have to roll for that concoction?
To try to let's
Try to
roll
make-
it. Let's
Is that a medicine or a life science?
I think life science.
Hey,
Still good.
24.
Yep, rocking it.
Yeah, so mix up a concoction in a little sphere, roll it across, and you see as the mixture, there's the what's in there mixes, it starts to seep out, and hopefully the little nodules will start to show up as they feel the rumble and sense the pheromones.
Yep. And as you do, sure enough, the magic of a little purple tendrils start emerging from down the tunnel, and you have found yourself a sandworm nodule.
Wander over there and pick it up.
It's warm and slimy.
Hmm.
It seems to be trying to grip onto both that sphere that you made and then you, and it has like little sucker ends to its tendrils. They don't hurt
yet.
Keep it away from your brain.
Interesting.
His brain is all over.
Our brain is
He's a coral
everywhere.
reef.
We don't have a centralized nervous system.
Well, just keep it away from Bob's brain.
Okay.
All right. Start. I reach out for the egg.
Oh, it tries to grip onto your hand with its
Okay.
little tendrils.
I'm just gonna go surprise Scophos with this. The rest of you, if you can start cranking out some sandworm muck
Goop.
Yeah, if you can start getting everybody inoculated to brain shock, or to system shock, I guess. I'll go over and see if I can keep Scophos distracted for a bit.
I'll come with you in case you need backup.
Okay.
So Vangi and Hecubino are going to go over to talk to Scophos.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And back with the trash wyverns and the rest of the group. Amu, what's your plan?
We're going to try and use the pheromone ball to catch another one of these, because they should be interesting to study, while also making up the inoculation painkiller things that hopefully won't backfire on everybody.
The painkiller inoculation thing will require your focus. Now the pheromones should work, but somebody else might have to go do it.
It's mostly just kick the ball, make a concoction.
Down one of the tunnels.
Did it come up?
Sounds great. So you kick the ball down the tunnel, and we'll see if something emerges from there. But then you're focusing on administering these inoculations.
I don't know if administering is the right call yet, because we don't know how long this will last.
Oh,
but we'll
okay.
be creating it and have everybody ready to be administered.
Okay. Yeah, they're not stable for very long, so you're probably going to need to go ahead and do it. It's kind of one of those bite the bullet moments.
Okay.
Cool. Why don't you make a medicine check?
Oh boy. Oh
Do
boy.
yourself last in case it impairs you.
Drunk on his own supply.
Oh boy.
All right. So not fantastic. The first one. Who gets the first dose?
Not it.
It's
You
what
don't know. It could be
Quentin,
great.
Bob, and Skritic are left.
Hey, man, if someone
and-
offered me a vaccine right now, sign me up.
Well, and all of
Side effects
and
be
the-
damned.
Well, and the trash wyverns who are probably pretty eager to get out of here. So if you need
a guinea
Oh, yeah,
pig.
they're all
guinea pig
willing subjects.
they're even in
Guinea
the same
gerbil.
family as guinea pigs.
Wait, I thought these were Ninja Turtles.
No, you're thinking of Mondo Gecko.
I will take it first.
Elaborate.
It stings a lot.
Ouch.
The side effect is you suffer the pain now. Ah.
I'm a robot. I feel pain.
Why was I programmed to feel pain?
We'll hold you steady for a moment. Are we good?
I don't know. Did it go away?
The pain faded. You still have that sense of, I suffered extreme pain recently. Why did that happen?
Another person would probably punch you, but I'm feeling better, but that did hurt. And now I pick up my slap bracelet.
Yeah, picking at the slap bracelet does, it hurts, but not like it hurt just a moment ago.
So if I were to try to take this completely off?
Yeah, you think you could.
All right, I'll take it completely off.
Oh, yeah, that pain's nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're still living in the remembrance of that agony from just a moment ago.
Yeah, all right. Ow, it doesn't hurt as much.
Huh.
What do I do with the
right.
slap bracelet? Should I flick it into the muck?
We don't know.
I'll flick it into the muck.
Muck
All
flicker.
right, the muck gobbles it up.
Bloop,
Slowly.
bloop, 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 bloop.
After a little bit, Amu, you can basically take 10 on these checks where you know what you need to do, and it's always going to cause a sharp stinging. Like when you administer this, it's going to hurt. But
Maybe a slight pinch.
yeah, a slight pinch. But then afterwards, you're able to, over the next couple minutes, administer it to everybody, and you feel wherever he administers it, particularly locally, and then it starts to spread through your body. And this is true whether you're an android or a Yusoki or a coral reef. It doesn't matter. Rikichi. But it does deaden your sensory nerves, like your systems that pick up on pain and pressure and temperature. Like you can tell when you're touching something, but you lose some of the tactile sense out of it, and it makes you feel a little disconnected from your body. Weirdly,
Quentin's face turns to Mr. Yuck. Just ugly for a moment.
Anything else amongst Amu, Bob, Skritic, and Quentin, and the trash weapons?
Were
As
we
far
able
as
to
being
collect another anemone?
Oh, you're looking for the other anemone? Okay, yeah. So you start heading down the tunnel to retrieve. Yep, there is one more anemone you found. One more nodule.
Right.
Tuck that away.
I'm hacking up a spider for you. I'm gonna hack up a spider for you.
So there's a spider picking its way through the slime. What do you do to try to ambush said spider? And who all is doing this? Quentin? Anybody else?
Quentin strikes from above.
Anyone else?
Perfectly round leopard.
I will grab its legs.
The plan is to land hard enough to knock the eyeball out of the legs, allowing me to take its place in the center of the spider legs and be a spider Quentin while rehacking the robot eye.
Both of you make melee attacks as though you were unarmed.
Mine is a 14.
Oh, full attack. No, submit.
There should be like a generic
there
melee.
goes.
Oh, yep,
22.
that'll do it. Yeah, that's
that
good.
is a botch. Oh no, that's just a botch on the damage.
On damage, yeah.
Yeah.
Quentin drops on top of it and slams it for some damage. Bob, you're able to dive at its legs and basically rip several of them off. Quentin's plan of replacing it in the center of its legs is lacking several engineering components and might belong more in a cartoon. So that does not happen. But he does.
How dare you, sir?
I will quickly find its data port and jack in and try to hack it, and then try to get a feed from Quentin and feed that into the system using computers.
Make a computers check. Quentin, do you start providing a feed?
Ooh, I only got a 15.
Yes. Okay. So it does have some sort of built-in security. So even though it's an older system, you are not bypassing it right now, and it's shutting down its ports.
Oh no! Quick, Quentin, give me the hack.
I'm gonna hack it. I'm gonna utilize the system that I accessed earlier to access it. Tell it everything's fine. We're all fine here. How are you? And superimpose video signal. I'm actually going to launch one of my mini cams and superimpose that video signal on whatever signal this guy should be putting out.
Sure.
And make sure that it's not pointed at us, literally assaulting it. 24.
All right. You do succeed at. You remember the patches that it hasn't been upgraded for, and you're able to assist Bob, and you guys are able to hack its signal. Now, when you say minicams, that is something that is new that you just introduced about, Quentin. And while I'm totally cool with it, it's basically like detaching one of your own eyes. So if you would like to leave one of your eyes here, that's fine. But you only have a finite number.
Now, keep in mind, it's not brand new because I used it in the initial battle on the Squeaky Clean. When we were recording it, I sent 4 cameras to different corners to record the whole thing. So I agree with you. It is like losing an eye, but it is an established fact of this universe.
All right. Established fact. You can send one of your eyes. You have some number of eyes that I will roll a die for.
Okay. 17. 17 eyes.
Is there a can I detect while I'm getting through this thing to find out what its pre-programmed pattern is so that eye can follow that pre-programmed pattern?
Oh, sure. Yep. They seem to have like a little weaving web of crossing through things that they follow because there are 8 of them total.
Okay. I'll send a wireless signal over to Quentin to relay that to his eyeball.
Yep. And I'm going to attempt to mask the presence of the floating eyeball to the others, making them think, hey, there's my friend, spider number 6. This is going to be awesome.
They don't go.
So they don't think anything is weird.
They don't go by numbers. His name is Jerry.
Oh, sorry. Jerry number 6.
Oh, you are number 1.
I will quit this show. And okay. So, do we need to roll for these things that we're trying to do? These sneaky things.
you've hacked it. You know what? I'm good.
Okay. Now the question becomes, since my eyes are obviously able to move and float and do the floaty thing, when all heck breaks loose, will I be able to make my eye follow us? Like where the whole team will be running, and it'll be like everybody runs out, run.
Your eye doesn't have the kind of thrusters that the rest of your body has. You might have to say goodbye to that eye.
Oh, okay.
We'll buy you a new one.
I'll have 16 left. It's okay.
All right. So, Vanky and Hecubino. Hecubino, you're holding a nodule.
Yep.
It seems to want to latch onto you.
I try to keep it from getting like a complete grip. So I'll roll it around in my hands so that it doesn't like fully latch onto my armor.
Your armor is now covered in slime.
Great.
Nice.
It's now Slimer.
Yeah. It's like, this stuff, you kind of get used to the smell.
The tentacles are kind of pretty. I like the color.
Yeah. Honestly, except for the fact that these turn into like 1,000-foot long death machines, these would probably make pretty good like pets.
Yeah, you could have like a little terrarium, and And then, when it gets really way too big, you could set it free somewhere.
Or you could sell it to these guys.
Yeah. Except for that, I don't think that they're going to be buying anything from us after this.
Well, that's true. That's why we need to establish a shell corporation, but I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves.
True that. Who's a good little baby death machine?
So when its tendrils latch onto you, like it's like going to a pool. What are they called?
A tidal pool.
Tidal pool. Thank you. Yes, where you can pet anemone. It's like, does it like sting? It's like not really. Like you can feel it. They latch onto you, but it's not. It doesn't hurt.
Well, hopefully it doesn't hurt it to like pull them away as well, because presumably it does have some like microscopic like stingers or hooks that it's like trying to hook. So I wouldn't want to hurt it too bad.
Oh, it seems to be doing just fine. It's just trying to find something to latch onto.
Okay.
Aren't we all?
I'm really glad someone else said that because I was thinking it, and then thank you, Stephen.
Do you think it's a bad idea for me to try to detect this thing's thoughts?
It's probably just doesn't think that much, or if it's thinking, it's probably just being like, hold me, I'm a little weird baby.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So you can detect a quasi mind there, but it is like very, very basic.
Yeah, it like very explicitly says like animal intelligence is like you can detect it, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So,
then it would be
unless these guys start out really smart, it's probably not anything to write home about.
Nope. Its intelligence modifier is -5.
Wow.
Yep. The old int 1. It does have an intelligence, but it is not bright.
Okay. I put my lying face on.
Now, how is that different from your normal face? So I know
it is not. That's the important part.
I have my hammer, like my tail is basically like got my little hammer that I snuck in here ready in case this goes south.
Nice. So you find Scophos at an intersection, and he looks up.
Hey, Scophos.
Huh. You guys found one.
Yeah. Turns out our medic has a pretty advanced rig. Maybe we can talk to Spago about like fixing up your rigs a little bit.
Oh yeah, you guys got real pluck, real moxie. You guys ever thought about being muckers? We could fast track you to management.
Oh, well, maybe we can kind of operate as, and I'll hand them the egg. Maybe we can operate as contractors for you guys. Like, if you guys need to like meet a deadline or something like that, we can come in and like kind of push stuff along.
Mucker management.
Holy muck. It's going to revolutionize the industry.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want to go put that away, we'll go talk to Amu and see if he can whip up a demo for you.
All right. So Scophos goes, and you can see from where you are now that he's going to the elevator where Spago. There are a couple of patrol bots that are basically always by the elevator, and Spago actually comes down out of the elevator and starts talking with Scophos excitedly.
Oh, okay. Double back.
Unless
you guys immediately turn and race back.
Well, Vanguard leans in and is like, unless you think this would be a good time to get the DNA.
That's what I was working on a inoculation right now. So we wouldn't need the DNA.
Sure.
I can try and like ride this elevator up with them.
Get the things off all the way.
Yeah, and then like if the rest of you want to try and get out, but like I can try and continue to distract them, or we can just head back and get it.
Yeah, let's head back and get our things. All right, sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Yep. So you guys head back, and just as you're heading back, and seeing Bob and Quentin wrestling a spider walking eye robot drone with a bunch of cords connected to each of them and arguing with each other. You hear over, there's like a PA system. Did I not mention there's a really crappy PA system? Well, there is.
I mean, you assume there would be.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And over it is the melodious voice of Spago. Vangi the Vesk and Hecubino the Mind Melter. I see the two of you never paid your Orphanarium and Arena League discharge fees. Considering the time you've been gone, interest, late fees, overdraft fees, processing fees, I think you're right where you belong. Amu, is it? I see you don't have a license to practice holistic medicine here on Akaton. And your case is full of medicinals, drugs, intoxicant stimulants, and depressants that are all seriously registered substances. I have no choice but to protect the youth of Akaton from your nefarious drug-dealing schemes and place you under a citizen's arrest, subject to immediate enforcement here at Muckrakers.
We don't deal drugs.
You're speaking to a loudspeaker.
He can't hear you through the loudspeaker, Amu.
Oh.
I am recording all of this.
Bob! Yes, I see here you are part of a paid synthetic life form internship with Balanced Scales Incorporated, where one prepays for the right to live, right? And you haven't been making your payments.
I have been making my payments. I missed one.
Society Debt Collection, Inc. is in a debt collection cooperative with Balanced Scales and is naturally willing to subcontract a portion of your work contract to us here at Muckrakers. As they say at Balanced Scales, live to work or work to live. It's all the same to us. Isn't that right, Bob? Yeah. And as for the other two, Quentin and Skritic, well, there's always the old gem we can polish for the authorities, resisting arrest. Yes, perhaps because of your associates? Indeed, that will do for now. And the subtle breakout has turned less subtle. But that is where we will end things for this episode of Drifters.
Bob didn't want his big secret be known yet. Anyway, I'm sure nobody wanted their big secrets to be revealed.
What secrets?
Skritic's a troublemaker.
Yeah, we've been super upfront with the fact that we are just straight up criminals.
Oh,
yeah.
Well.
Yeah, absolutely.
What? You're criminals?
Dude.
Why didn't I know this?
Secret.
And I'd like to see him try that on me. My secrets are still secret.
Until I hack them. Anyway, that's where we're going to drop it this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming and hanging out and listening to our plans. You know how our plan episodes always go.
Super well.
Yeah, let's find out if it all pays off next time on Critical Hits. Until then, though, let's hope all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2021 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.
This is your before and after story, where your first steps towards a new life-changing career begin. Southeastern College can take you there. We offer in-demand hybrid and online programs with hands-on training, led by in-field career professionals, and career services to put you on the path to a rewarding and fulfilling future. This is where your transformation begins. Southeastern College, your future is bright. Visit sec.edu to get started.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.